and welcome to another episode of Life Matters. All lives matter. My life matters and yours matters. And this is why we delve so much into discussing issues that affect our lives so that we can help to get out of these situations. Today, our topic of discussion is the importance of mental health. Now, this is a very interesting topic because of late we have seen a lot of statistics that are emerging from issues that have to do with mental health. Today, to help me discuss this beautiful topic, is in the studios we have Princess Kunda. Princess Kunda, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Jackson.
Thank you. Would you mind explaining to us why mental health is very important and why as individuals we should take interest in our mental health?
When I started reading on psychology many moons ago, Albert Einstein said that every human being has a level of mental health problem. It just depends on the scale that you're looking at. And that made me, initially when I saw that quote, I thought this guy he's insane. There's no way. I don't have a mental health problem, no way. And it made me think about it on a deeper level. What he was trying to say was that all of us at some stage of our lives, and maybe for the rest of our lives, depending again on what your problem is, will deal with a mental problem. It can start with an emotional problem. It can start even as simple as the death of somebody you love. And that can, if it's not dealt with on the emotional level, because when somebody dies, that trauma is on an emotional level. But if it's not dealt with on an emotional level, it then transcends into a mental problem where maybe you'd need to be hospitalized, you'd need to be on medication. Something that could have dealt with on that level then escalates. And it's always the catching early, it's the catching straight away that will help determine where that problem or where that condition then escalates to.
Okay, so now would you help us understand a little about psychiatric hospitals and what help they offer, because society has this misconception about the people that are admitted there.
The misconception has always been, like I'm saying, is that when you don't understand something, it's easy for someone to just put whatever kind of negative stereotype and label that there is, because there's a lack of understanding. When somebody goes for psychiatric help, it's usually because, I'm talking about that scale again, I'll bring back the scale. So you're talking about a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being the least, 10 being the extreme. So mental health is like that. That's the easiest way I can think of explaining it. It can range from that. So you can be somebody who can have a mental challenge. I like to call them mental challenges, not a problem. It's not a problem, it's a challenge. And 1 being that you're not that bad. You can just go for counseling, you can manage yourself. 10 being you're extreme. You're somebody who we can't trust you to be left alone. We need to monitor you. We need to support you. We need to give you medication that is monitored, that we actually see how the medication is working with you, how you're responding, how you're reacting. So psychiatric hospitals are there for the ones who are on the brackets of 7, 8, 9, 10. That's what they're there for. It means that you're someone who is a danger primarily to yourself, not even anybody else, but primarily to yourself. And that's what the psychiatric hospitals are there for. The stigma is wrong, because really the people who are in those psychiatric hospitals, I think, are much better than the ones who are still in society pretending that everything is okay. They have at least gone to get help. They're at least on a place where they're trying to get their life in order. There are many people who are functioning in society right now who really do need the help, probably even more than the ones who are in the clinics. There are people who are out there doing some really crazy things, but they're not in a psychiatric home. But the ones who are in the psychiatric home, I give them complete respect and props to them. They're doing a good thing.
Thank you very much. Now, here's someone who cannot figure out whether they are at what stage in the scale, whether they're at the stage where they need help or not. So how can you help someone out there who's watching to say now they can determine to say I need help and I need to visit maybe a counselor or a psychiatric institution for me to get help in mental health issues?
For me personally, the first step, it would be if you're asking yourself that question in the first place, that's a good sign. For me, that's a good sign because you are aware. You're aware that there's something not 100% okay with you, but you just don't know what it is. Find someone, if it's a teacher, find someone who you can speak to. Speaking is the first step, and that person will be able to tell you you actually need proper professional help. And when you need proper professional help, you have organizations like ourselves, Healing Tree of Nations, and we are there non-judgmental. We are there to hear you out. We are there, we don't care where you come from, what background you come from, which denomination you worship at. What we care about is you being a whole person so that you're effective and you're able to do what you're supposed to do. You're able to fulfill your purpose on this earth, and that is really what it's all about, is to help you fulfill your purpose on earth. There's a difference between a counselor and a psychiatrist. A psychiatrist will be able to actually give you medication. They'll prescribe you medication. They'll tell you what medically they can do with you. A counselor will listen to you and listen to how you're talking. Counselors are there purely to listen. They're not there to tell you anything. They're not there to tell you whether you're right, you're wrong, whether to go left or go right. They want to hear from you what's actually going on with you. They want you to make the final decision. And if a counselor can see there's something a bit more going on here, they will recommend you now to a psychiatrist.
Okay. So now, help us understand, can someone be hospitalized for anxiety problems?
Yes, because some people's anxiety is so bad that they can't even leave the house. Some people's anxiety is so bad they can't leave their bedroom. So in that instance, they need to be found, they need to be brought out of their homes or their bedrooms and taken somewhere where they'll be given the counseling, they'll be given the necessary medical help, attention, and where they'll be in an environment where they can really be able to unload and explain what triggers that anxiety, what happens in the brain that triggers, because everything starts with your mind. The whole purpose of you being hospitalized is to bring you back down to a scale where you can control it yourself. You can be at home and manage yourself. That is, I think, is the purpose of being hospitalized. It's not supposed to be forever. It's not supposed to be, you're never supposed to leave that institute. No, you're supposed to be able to bring it down, scale it down where you can self-control.
I want you to look into that camera over there and just speak to that person who's facing difficulties in knowing their mental health, and just speak to them so that they know and understand that there is someone who's capable of listening to them.
Mental health is a journey that everybody must pursue. Everybody must take that personal analysis. Analyze yourself, do an introspection, find out why you think the way you think. Challenge yourself. Okay, I think that the sky is blue. Why do I think that the sky is blue? It's a very funny question, but it's a question. Ask yourself those kind of questions. Why do I like certain types of music? Why do I like a certain genre type of music? What are the feelings that I get out of listening to that type of music? Just start with really, really simple questions and start a dialogue. Start a dialogue with yourself. There's nobody who knows you better than you. So start that dialogue with yourself and start to understand yourself. Challenge yourself and take that mental trip journey.
Thank you so much, Princess. Now, as we close the show, what would be your last words to our viewers out there?
Knowing yourself. Knowing yourself. I'm a big champion of knowing yourself. Understand yourself. When you understand yourself, no one can tell you who you are. No one can define you. No one can make you believe you are A or you are B, because you will know yourself. And you'll be able to say no. That if somebody does say that you are something, you're able to be in a place of strength to say, no, that's not me. If somebody wants you to start smoking and you know you're not a smoker, you'll be in a position to say, That's not me. I'm not a smoker. Take me or leave me. This is who I am. Accept me for who I am. You'll be in a place of comfort because you know who you are. Mental health is all about understanding yourself. It's knowing your triggers, knowing what makes you sad, knowing what's making you happy, what sets you off, what makes you feel depressed, what makes you feel low. It's all about knowing yourself.
Thank you very much, Princess. It's always a pleasure to hang out with you.
And it's a pleasure to hang out with you too.
From us in the studio, we're saying, till next time.